The Gospel of Thomas is a non-canonical text that differs significantly from the four canonical Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Unlike those Gospels, the Gospel of Thomas does not narrate the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. Instead, it is a collection of 114 sayings attributed to Jesus, many of which are presented as direct quotations. It is often categorized as a sayings gospel, and is considered part of the broader category of texts known as the Gnostic Gospels. The Gospel of Thomas was discovered in 1945 among a collection of Gnostic texts near Nag Hammadi, Egypt, and is dated to around the early to mid-2nd century. The text opens with a prologue stating, "These are the hidden sayings that the living Jesus spoke and Didymus Judas Thomas recorded." The term Didymos means twin in Greek, suggesting that the author, Judas Thomas, is identified as a twin of Jesus, although the precise meaning of this relationship is debated among scholars. There are some who argue that the text could have been written by the twin brother of Jesus, but these ideas cannot be expanded on. First, there are sayings that parallel canonical Gospels. For example, saying 9, which is a parable of the sower, is quite similar to the version found in the Synoptic Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Similarly, saying 20, which is about the mustard seed, also has parallels in the canonical text. Secondly, there are sayings that present Jesus as a mystical teacher. They show Jesus in a more esoteric or mystical manner, with an emphasis on self-knowledge and spiritual enlightenment. For instance, saying 3 states, "If those who lead you say to you, 'See, the kingdom is in the sky,' then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say to you, 'It is in the sea,' then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you, and it is outside of you." This saying reflects a key theme in the Gospel of Thomas, that the divine realm, or the kingdom of heaven, is not a physical place, but a state of spiritual awareness. Thirdly, there are Gnostic and dualistic sayings. These sayings have a distinctly Gnostic character, emphasizing the dichotomy between the physical and the spiritual realms. Gnosticism was a religious and philosophical movement in the early centuries of Christianity that focused on hidden knowledge as the path to salvation. For example, saying 29 states, "If the flesh came into being because of spirit, it is a wonder, but if spirit came into being because of the body, it is a wonder of wonders. Indeed, I am amazed at how this great wealth has made its home in this poverty." This saying suggests a dualistic view of the material and spiritual worlds, a hallmark of Gnostic thought. Lastly, there are sayings that are unique to Thomas, and do not have direct parallels in other Christian texts. These sayings often focus on the themes of enlightenment, self-discovery, and the inner search for divine truth. For instance, saying 77 reads, "I am the light that is over all things. I am all, from me all come forth, and to me all attained." This saying presents a highly mystical view of Jesus, emphasizing his identity as a divine, all-encompassing light. The Gospel of Thomas is rich with themes that set it apart from the canonical Gospels. One of the central messages in the Gospel of Thomas is the importance of inner enlightenment. Many sayings emphasize that the kingdom of God is not an external place, but rather an internal state that is realized through self-knowledge and spiritual awakening. This idea reflects the Gnostic emphasis on personal spiritual knowledge as the path to salvation. Unlike the Synoptic Gospels, which often focuses on Jesus' miracles, parables, and interactions with others, the Gospel of Thomas emphasizes the direct revelation of divine truth to the individual. Sayings like saying 108, "He who drinks from my mouth will become like me, I myself shall become like he, and the things that are hidden will be revealed to him," underscore the idea of a personal and transformative connection to Jesus. Several sayings in the Gospel of Thomas reflect an anti-materialistic viewpoint, consistent with Gnostic thought. For instance, saying 76 says, "The foxes have their holes, and the birds have their nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head and rest." This reflects a sense of spiritual homelessness, or detachment from the physical world, encouraging followers to focus on the spiritual rather than material concerns. The Gospel of Thomas often presents a reinterpretation of traditional Jewish and Christian concepts, such as the kingdom of God, salvation, and the role of Jesus as a teacher. For example, saying 113 states, "His disciples said to him, 'When will the kingdom come?' And Jesus replied, 'It will not come by waiting for it. It will not be a matter of saying, here it is, or there it is. Rather, the kingdom of the Father is spread out upon the earth, and men do not see it.'" This challenges the more apocalyptic views of the kingdom of heaven found in other early Christian writings, where heaven can only be achieved by following a certain set of rules. The Gospel of Thomas has been a subject of considerable debate among scholars, particularly concerning its date of composition, its relationship to the canonical Gospels, and its theological orientation. Some scholars argue that the Gospel of Thomas reflects an early, perhaps even pre-canonical form of Christianity that is independent of the synoptic tradition. Others suggest that it was influenced by the canonical text and reflects a later, more developed form of Gnosticism. The dating of the Gospel of Thomas is a matter of scholarly debate. Some scholars have argued that it may contain early traditions that are as old as or older than those found in the Synoptic Gospels, possibly dating to the mid-1st century. However, most scholars suggest a date in the early to mid-2nd century, around 140 to 180 AD, reflecting a later development of Christian thought. There is also debate over whether the Gospel of Thomas should be considered a Gnostic text. While it contains themes that resonate with Gnostic ideas, such as the focus on hidden knowledge and the distinction between the material and spiritual realms, it does not present a fully developed Gnostic cosmology or mythology. Some scholars consider it proto-Gnostic, reflecting an earlier stage of what would later develop into fully fledged Gnosticism. The Gospel of Thomas offers a vision of Jesus that contrasts sharply with that of the canonical Gospels. In Thomas, Jesus is portrayed as more of a mystical teacher who reveals esoteric knowledge, rather than as a messianic figure who dies for the sins of humanity. This has led to debates about the diversity of early Christian beliefs and the processes by which certain texts were included or excluded from the canon. The Gospel of Thomas is a fascinating and enigmatic text that provides a window into the diversity of early Christian thought. Its collection of sayings attributed to Jesus, with a strong emphasis on self-knowledge, spiritual enlightenment, and personal revelation, presents a perspective distinct from the canonical Gospels. While its exact place in early Christian history is debated, it remains a significant work for understanding the various ways Jesus was understood and interpreted in the early centuries of Christianity. Let me know your thoughts about this extra canonical text and what other books you'd like me to cover next. As always, if you've enjoyed today's episode, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. Until next time.